Hello everybody out there, welcome back to the RostyMaths channel and welcome back to another of my Year 7 series on probability. Now, as we say Year 7, don't forget this is all GCSE spec because we're all training for that, but we're also training to be really good mathematicians. So, you can see from the thumbnail, it's mainly GCSE, but I call it Year 7 because this is stuff I will teach in Year 7. Now, I have got my trusty pair of dice there, as you can see, and I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing today, which is expected outcomes or expected frequency. And what is this all about? Now, when I get my answer, it's going to be a number, not a fraction or anything like that, mainly a particular number. So what is this all about? So let's start with one of the die. Now, let's say I want to throw this die, say 60 times. Now, if it's a fair die, then I should see all of these numbers the same amount of times. I should, but I don't, because that's the whole idea of probability. And if you understand what happens with relative frequency, check the link in the description or the pop-out banner popping out there right now. You can go and have a look at that video, but stick with this and watch it first. What is this whole thing about expected outcomes? It's going to be different every time I throw it. So if it's going to be different, then what's the whole point of this then? Well, the whole point is to work out estimates. How can we tell how many times we're expecting to see something? And that comes in quite handy if you're, say, running your own business and you want to sell a particular product and you know the probability of someone buying that product. What's the expected number of times you expect them to come in that shop and buy that, or the expected sales value you're going to make? It all comes in really handy, and that's just a silly little example. Anyway, so I'm going to roll my dice 60 times. How many times will I expect to see, say, the number 3? And herein comes the whole idea of expected frequency. There's a formula for it. So I'm going to grab my iPad and you follow me now on there. Okay, so first of all, let's see what it is. Let's define it. Expected frequency is equal to the number of times the experiment was done. So for example, when I was rolling my die, I rolled it 60 times. It was done 60 times, and you multiply that by the probability of that event happening. Now, if this is a fair die, it's not biased, the probability of getting a 3 is 1/6, because there are 6 faces on here and there's only 1 3 on here. So now I can say that the amount of times I expect to see a 3, so how many times would you expect a 3? Well, I rolled it 60 times, multiplied by the probability of getting a 3 is 1/6. So I expect to see a 3 10 times. Okay, and that is it to expected frequency. Now, please bear in mind that this is an estimate because, as I said at the top of the video, these things will be different every time. And also, even in a perfect scenario, you're not going to get 3 10 times and a 1 10 times and so on, even if a robot's dropping the dice, because all sorts of things are acting on that dice, and before it hits the ground, something that you don't expect is going to happen. So that's the number of times I expect to see it. All right, so that brings us to the end of this. I hope you understood that. I hope that you will be able to use this going forward. Now, obviously, this is extendable. You can talk about the number of times you expect to see a number that's bigger than 3, say, so a 4, a 5, and a 6, and so on. But that's going to come up in another video when I do the rule for and or in probability. Anyway, that's the end of it for now. Until I see you on the next one. Peace.